caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the...
What's up, guys? Lance, the Obscure Movie Guy, coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And today we're going to do a good old-fashioned shorts block video, since we haven't done one of those in a while, and I've been sitting on a few film shorts that need to get done. So let's dive into it with the first one that we're going to talk about. From my good friend Timothy J. Cox, we're going to be talking about Let Dan Go. Let Dan Go was written by Ariel Carroll, directed by Timothy J. Cox, starring Timothy J. Cox, Ashley Lawhorn, and Daniel Griesheimer. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But Timothy plays Harry, Ashley plays Abby, and Daniel plays Dan. And really, this is, as with most of the shorts that get sent to me from Timothy J. Cox, again, this is a very emotional driven short film. Basically what you have is, in the very beginning, you have Abby and Dan arguing after a night out at the bar. He's a little intoxicated. They get into a fight and he drives off, and unfortunately we lose Dan. I'm not spoiling anything in the way of the plot because this is relatively short. And really the main focus is on Abby and Harry throughout the course of this short film, dealing with the grief and the emotional loss of Dan and how they're dealing with it, how their relationship has, basically how their lives have kind of gone on amongst this loss. So, once again, most of the stuff that, actually everything Timothy's ever sent me, all of his short films that he sends me are usually, like I said, very emotionally driven, very dramatic. And again, this one's no different. It's fundamentally sound. I mean, there's no audio issues. There's no camera issues. Acting is stellar. And I think it's cool that with the short films that he generally sends me, and Elysium Films, and the stuff that they touch on is usually stuff that doesn't really get touched on hardly ever from an independent filming standpoint. And even beyond that, even a lot of mainstream studios don't want to dive into too much of the emotional stuff these days, it seems like. So a lot of the stuff that Elysium and Timothy does is all kind of stuff that isn't really found its way to an audience. So I think it's good on them because it really explores the writing and directing abilities of some of these independent filmmakers, and the acting as well. So a lot of actors get stuck doing a lot of independent horror, maybe with a little bit of action. But in the case of Elysium, where we are exploring the dramatic roles of some of these actors. And we actually talked about Ashley Lawhorn not that long ago when I did the review for Airshift, which was a great film. I really had a really good time reviewing that one. So you guys should go back and check out my review on Airshift and check it out. She was a great actress in that. And it was really cool because I watched this shortly after watching Airshift. And it's nice to see when you watch an actor and actress back to back like that, you really get a sense of their range. And she did completely different characters, completely different mannerisms, completely different tone, obviously based on what the films were. Airshift was a crossover between zombies and a serial killer, whereas Let Dan Go is very, like I said, emotionally driven, diving into the trauma and drama of losing your significant other. So Let Dan Go from Elysium Films and Timothy J. Cox. Go check it out. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is called Paula Takes the Stage. So Paula Takes the Stage was written by Eric Albert Braunstrom, stars Christopher Pentance as Lawrence and Belle Eclair as Paula Page. Had to think about that for a second. But Belle Eclair as Paula Page, and is a very thought-provoking short that makes you question what exactly is the price of fame. This is set on the backdrop of, I'm assuming, the 1940s, because the aesthetics, the wardrobe, the hairstyles all scream the Hollywood golden era, roughly around the 1940s. And Paula is trying to make a comeback. She's a stage entertainer trying to make a comeback to relive her golden years. um, and try and revitalize her career a little bit. Um, but things are not well with Paula when we first meet her. I don't want to give too much away in the way of the plot because there's a few twists and turns. And again, it's very thought provoking, and I don't want to influence somebody else's thoughts on what this film might be trying to tell us. But when we first meet Paula, things are already kind of awry. Um, she's on the floor. She doesn't seem well. Psychologically, there's something clearly wrong with her. Um, and then you have Lawrence that basically comes in to see how she's doing and pretty much doesn't notice any of that stuff. And we don't know if that is on purpose, as in he doesn't care. He's only worried about her career. Is it just is he just completely oblivious to the fact that she is going through some sort of mental struggle? Um, and that attitude with him pretty much stays that way throughout the course of the film. Psychologically, Paula breaks down more and more and more throughout the course of this short film and starts doing things that are far worse every time she tries to do something. We don't know if she's sabotaging herself, if she's trying to sabotage the show. Um, if it's a self reflection on oneself, maybe she doesn't think she can live up to what she used to be. Um, so it's a really complex, thought provoking short film that I'll be honest with you, in the end, I don't know that I completely 100% got what the underlining message was. And that might just be of my own ignorance. Um, but it really does make you kind of question an entertainer's thought process. It's the story of an entertainer having mental struggles and one being maybe not being able to keep their career going as they want to, or how the general public even perceives them. We even see that a little bit right now currently with like Mortal Kombat 2 and the character of Johnny Cage, an action hero that was big back in the 80s 90s. And obviously that character is based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme, again megastar back in the 80s and 90s, 2000s and on, kind of a more of a B movie type star. And that's kind of like what you're getting with Paula. She was, amazing back in, we'll say, the 20s and 30s. And now in the 40s, she's, her career has dwindled down a little bit. So is it a matter of public perception that's bugging her? Is it a matter that she doesn't think she can live up to what she once was? Doesn't think she can revitalize her career? So a lot of that is a bit thought provoking throughout the course of the film. And it's kind of like it's your own eternal hell that you're dealing with. A really cool thing, aside from the aesthetics, this movie nails the aesthetics, the wardrobe, the hairstyles, the stage presence of the actors themselves. Nailed all that stuff. Fundamentally, a great film. There's no audio issues. The cinematography is great. It's beautiful. The editing is well done. The videography is on point. But another cool thing that I thought was interesting was the runtime of the film um, almost directly correlates in real time. So at one point, you're going to have a stagehand come in and be like 20 minutes to stage, and he comes in every 5 minutes. 15 minutes to stage, 10 minutes to stage, 5 minutes to stage. And that's very much in sequence with the runtime of the movie. So when he comes in and says there's 20 minutes to stage, she's literally got 20 minutes to stage because he comes back every 5 minutes and it's 5 minutes in that runtime. So I thought that was pretty clever how they did that. I don't know if a lot of people will pick up on that. Now the film is more than 20 minutes because you have time before the call time, and then you obviously have some things that happen after that final call time. But realistically, it's like watching an episode of 24. There's 24 episodes, there's 24 hours in a day. Each episode was an hour of that day. So that's kind of what they did here. Every 5 minutes, the stagehand's coming back, and that's counting down the time towards the end of this film. I thought that was pretty well done. So definitely check out Paula Takes the Stage, especially if you're into that look and the aesthetics of like the Hollywood golden era, the 40s, the 30s. They did an amazing job with all that stuff. This was a really, really good short film. And like I said, it's very thought provoking. And even though myself didn't necessarily completely 100% grasp maybe what the underlining message was, it didn't detract me from enjoying the film in any way, shape, or form. I thought they did a great job. Now, the last one we're going to talk about was sent to me by Erica Wade. Um, A Killer on the Loose 3. So, A Killer on the Loose 3 was written and directed by Erica Wade, done under the No Lids Productions. Um, Tells the story of a killer on the loose. Basically, what you have in early on in this film is you find out that, and it's kind of weird, but you do got to watch it, and it does come together. But you kind of find out that there's a house for sale, a missing person, and Erica Wade plays Erica Davies. So you find out her nephew is coming back from the military and kind of starts putting pieces to the puzzle together and starts to go out and try and exact his revenge on what may have transpired with his aunt, Erica. Um, has a runtime of roughly 39 minutes and was pretty well done for the most part. Fundamentally, a pretty sound short film. I don't want to give too much away in the plot because those three connections do kind of come together in a specific way. But fundamentally, it's pretty sound. There's no audio issues. The cinematography is pretty good. The editing is pretty good. The only thing I did have a slight issue with was basically the camera quality itself. It's not of the highest quality, but it is a micro budget short film from a small production team. So, I mean, I'm willing to give it a little bit of grace. But it didn't detract from the film in any way, shape, or form. I thought it was pretty well written. It's a pretty solid storyline. Um, the acting by the major players, which would be Erica's nephew, um, and basically her mother, and then Erica herself. You don't see a whole lot of her. But the acting from the major players was pretty well done. Now, some of the subplot, sub characters, their performances could have been polished a little bit more. A couple of news anchors probably could have been polished a little bit more. But again, micro budget short film. Not really here to critique it too much because I'm willing to give it a little bit of grace in those things. Um, I think one of the coolest things that they did throughout the course of this film is this also acts large in part as promotion for independent music artists. So every time that they use a song in the film, they put that artist's name down in like the bottom left corner, kind of like an actual like old school like music video, you know. So when the song comes on, you'll see a name pop up down there, and that's the artist that did that song. And I thought that was pretty cool to give a little bit of recognition to some of these independent musical artists because they struggle just as much as independent filmmakers. So independent music makers and independent filmmakers kind of working together hand in hand on this one, a little bit of a cross promotion type thing. And I thought that was pretty cool and pretty clever. Um, I did enjoy this one, and I didn't know anything about any of the other Killer on a Loose because this is Killer on a Loose 3. I hadn't seen the first two. Um, and to be perfectly honest with you, when I was done watching this one, I did go back and watch the other two. They're all available on YouTube. They're all available through the No Lids Productions YouTube channel. So I did go back and watch the other two. And I'm not going to do a full review on those, but I will say this about the first and second one in conjunction with the third one. And I think Erica will probably appreciate this because I think with any type of career, especially in the entertainment industry, if you're an actor, writer, director, whatever the case may be, I think you'd want to see a progression of your work getting better as you go on. And that's exactly what I found with this franchise, A Killer on the Loose. I mean, the first one, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's got its own issues. Um, you know, nothing to gripe about. They made a solid little short film, runs roughly like 15 minutes. Then they did the second one. Again, it runs roughly 10, 15 minutes. But with each of those films, they do things just a little bit differently, and you can see the progression. Things get a little bit better and a little bit better. And now you're in the third one, and this is probably their most complete project because you've gone from two shorts that are roughly 10 to 15 minutes long to now doing one that is 39 minutes. So your third one has a longer runtime than your first two combined, and in each case, you're getting a little bit better at what you're doing. So I think Erica and her production team are on a right path to really bring something like this to life as a full length feature. I'm sure that's what her goal is going to be in the future. So very, very cool and interesting project and production team that they got going on over there. You can go check out Killer on the Loose 3. um, you can go check it out on the No Lids Films YouTube channel. It's got roughly 3,000 views right now and still climbing. You can also check out the first two on that one as well. So Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. If has anybody else seen any of these short films, what's your take on short films to begin with? Do you like them better than full-length feature ones, or are you a full-length feature kind of person? So, like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see everybody in the next video.